Hello and welcome to a Live with Amanda. Today we're going to be talking about how much should rent cost you. Actually, somebody that Rachel and I are doing consulting with emailed me about rental prices and how much should they be. And it got me thinking about therapists going back to the office, less telehealth and more in-person sessions being requested by clients. That's what we've seen at Caring Therapists. We have seen just like an influx of people requesting in-office appointments. And so I think there's going to be a little bit of a change in terms of people needing office space. They're going to go back to the offices. It's just going to be part of what happens. I think there's still a large market for virtual. I'm not discouraging anybody from starting a virtual practice, but I think having an office is really going to set some people apart. And so as people are going back into the rental market, they're going to be wondering, like, how much should I spend? So I want to say first and foremost that this is really, 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 see, I'm getting very excited, really, really, really dependent on your location. Okay, location, location, location. It's always dependent on location. So if you are in New York City, Miami, San Francisco, Los Angeles, like high cost of living areas, places that maybe don't have a lot of open commercial real estate for rentals, then it is going to be a lot higher than in places that either has a lot of, there's more supply, right? Or for whatever reason, it's a low cost of living area and the rent is less. Even in South Florida, the rent for whatever reason tends to be lower in Broward than it is in Palm Beach, even though it's like literally one county over. The socioeconomic status doesn't look that much different, but seriously, the commercial real estate is more expensive in Palm Beach, even though the houses are cheaper. So just kind of weird how those things kind of work out. And so sort of like for me, I'm in a suburban area. Most of my offices are in a suburban area. We try not to spend any more than $1,000 per office space. So if a suite has 4 offices in it, we don't want to spend any more than $4,000. Our target office has between 4 and 6 single offices, a waiting room, a kitchen, and maybe a bathroom in or out of it, or some kind of break room. We really found that to build culture, it is really important for us to have a break room. And so we have started making sure that all of our offices have break rooms. I think now they all have a break room. It's like thinking we like moved an office and then we opened 2 offices. Like everybody has what is essentially a break room. That for a mental health group practice is really, really important. And it's a part of our like core values is like, as part of it, like, is like, not core values, but like a part of like our model is like, we want to provide connection. And one way you can provide connection is giving people a place to eat, right? Or to mingle other than their offices. And so you can kind of use that as a starting point. And if you're in a high cost of living area, it might be more than $1,000, or you might not have single office spaces available. You might only have a 3 office space available. And it might be $4,000 or $5,000. If you're in a low cost of living area, when I say $1,000, like I've worked with consultees that are paying like $400 for an office. I'm like, that is like a dream, like, right? Like I can't even imagine like what that would look like. And maybe their margins are still like pretty good too, because they're getting paid the same from insurance companies, but their rent is so much lower. Another way you can look at this is if you are a solo practice owner, or even a group practice owner, the numbers will look different, is that you want to pick a percentage that you are willing to pay for rent. We pay about 8% towards rent, 7 to 8% of our gross revenue for rent. So if you like make it really simple, I know numbers are not always people's things. If you're making $10,000 a month, right? Like that's pretty like standard good number for a solo practitioner. If you were doing no more, I'm going to just say 10%, that's $1,000. Like that's sort of where I get that $1,000 number from. If you are an EMDR trained private pay therapist and you're making 20 grand a month and you want a nicer office, then, and if you're going with that 10%, you could afford closer to $20,000 or $2,000, right? $2,000 a month. Just depends what your goals are for your practice. So I'm going to give you a couple of tips on what to look for when you're looking for an office. But first, I want to thank our sponsor, TherapyNotes, who makes it easy to have a virtual or an in-person office, makes it easy to have a private pay or an insurance-based practice, makes it easy to have a solo practice. They're really geared towards that market, but then also geared towards the group practice, especially as you grow and you build. The way that their subscription model works is it doesn't become like super exorbitant costs when you grow. So I really love TherapyNotes for that. I love the reporting. If you watch my videos, you know I love the reporting. I love to be able to pull data. I love to be able to pull by CPT code, revenue, build sessions, the types of sessions, the type of CPT codes, the locations of therapists. Like I am just like constantly like redoing data and all of the reporting. So a special shout out to TherapyNotes. So think about your particular practice and what you need. Do you need a big office or do you want a cozy office? I actually always preferred a cozy office. I prefer a smaller office. I'd like to be a little closer to my clients. I was doing EMDR therapy. You kind of need to be close to people in EMDR therapy. I just really enjoyed not a big office. When we move into new offices, people are like fighting over big offices. I'm like, give me the shoebox. I like it. Like I will like put all my kids' supplies like in a little bin. I'll dump them out when they get there and like put them back. But your practice, you might like a very large office, right? Like you might be like, I'm not a sand tray therapist. I'm imagining sand tray therapists need larger offices. Or if you really like to have a very big playroom built out like that, I can totally understand that. But you also want to look at costs, like create a budget for yourself. Look at how much your revenue may or may not increase depending on your practice. Take a look at location. Is it in a busy area? Is it in an isolated area? Are there lights? Is there a leasing office? What do you have access to? What comes within your rental? What are you responsible for? What are they responsible for? And so if you watched my video the other day about commercial real estate, it's very similar. My advice is going to be very similar. So my last piece of advice for you today is work with a commercial real estate agent that can help guide you in finding an office that works very well for you within your business plan, within your model, within your needs, so that you can be happy with your office, because your office is like your sanctuary, right? You want to be happy. You want to be content. You want to be whatever word, cozy, happy, whatever words you want to feel, whatever feeling you want to have when you're in that office, you can find that. Maybe you need lots of light. I don't care about light. People care about light. And so find the office that works for you within your budget. And I think that you will be able to do some amazing therapy. I hope this was helpful. I'll see you soon, everybody. Bye.